The right to abortion is a right. It is a fundamental right for women's lives. And being for the right to abortion means that I respect the humanity of women.
This is a human right, it's a women's right.
Well, humanists have a long-standing tradition of being for social justice and equality and for fighting for the little guy. And humanists seem to not make that connection that when it comes to the preborn, if the preborn are human beings, if they're a member of the human family, then the extension has to be made that if we're going to fight for equality and for social justice for the weak and for the underprivileged and other people who've been marginalized, that has to include the preborn, if the preborn are human beings.
This is the cause, this is the civil rights issue of our day, and it's worth every painful moment, every joyous victory. It's worth every ounce of energy within us to defend human life and to restore dignity in a culture that has lost sense of the awe and wonder of human life.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
When my uncle, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," we must all begin to agree that it is an unjust thing to take the life of a little baby in the womb.
It is the most important issue of our time because it's the most fundamental issue. If there's no right to live, no other rights matter.
Unborn children are the most defenseless members of our society. They have no way to fight back, they have no way to speak out, no way to stand up for themselves. And so we see the attack on their fundamental right, their right to life, when they're being killed by the thousands each day legally, as the greatest human rights abuse I believe our country has ever seen.
The pro-life movement began as a civil rights movement. For the first portion of the movement, they did not want to have the movement being identified with Catholicism. So they were very careful about presenting a civil rights and a human rights angle on the movement, where nowadays nobody will even hear pro-life and think anything else but, oh, Christian, religious.
The abortion movement's strategy was to make this a religious issue. They pitted, the enlightened, progressive abortion supporters versus those backward Catholics. And by doing that, they completely marginalized any non-Catholic opposition to abortion in the public sphere and in the media. And we're still seeing the reverberations of that today. And whenever a pro-life leader assumes that every pro-lifer is Christian, they walk right into the pro-choice trap. It's been laid there by design, and they've got to stop. Whoever wants to help us save babies is welcome.
When someone gives a religious argument, immediately the person says, oh, I don't have to listen to that because I'm not a Christian, therefore they will throw out the entire message.
Look at human trafficking. If you look at human trafficking, you see lots of faith-based organizations working against human trafficking because it's part of their faith and good for them. But nobody ever says, well, human trafficking must be a religious issue. No. And that's how abortion's got to be. It's got to be in that sort of frame.
There's no greater issue, there's no greater cause than the fact that unborn children that are the most vulnerable are being killed by the thousands. And so I think that regardless of your political persuasion or your religious persuasion or whatever you otherwise believe, everyone can agree that human life must be protected, especially in its weakest forms.